This is Comic Geek Speak, episode 1674, previews!
Laser beams, opinions like the seasons on everything you read in comics, movies, games, toys, artists, Comic Geek Speak, Comic Geek Speak, Comic Geek Speak, Comic Geek Speak, Comic Geek, uniting the world's mightiest heroes. This is...
I'm Brian Chrisman.
I'm Shane Kelly.
I'm Adam Murdo.
And I'm Chris Eberly.
Comic Geek Speak.
And welcome to the show. Ow. Once again, it's previews time. We will go through the previews catalog, which is the November. Am I missing something here over again?
Previews time is here.
No, stop it! Stop it!
Too soon.
The previews catalog.
You're triggering his Grinch.
Yeah. November. The November 2017 previews catalog for items shipping to stores mostly starting in January of 2018. Already talking about 2018. But as always, before we get too far into the frivolity, and then we'll be from frivolity, this episode, as well as all of our previous episodes, are brought to you by Discount Comic Book Service. Go to dcbservice.com for all your pre-ordering needs. Because when you pre-order from them any DC, Marvel, Dark Horse or Image title, they are right away 40% off cover price. Most other publishers are between 20 and 35% off cover price. And they do run many, many specials where there could be up to 45, 50, 60, even 75% off cover price. And they also love bundles at DCB Service, whether it's bundling some Rebirth titles, some Valiant titles, some Marvel titles, DC Kids titles, whatever, like titles together for one low price. They do that all the time, and they continue the tradition. When you pre-order any new DC or Marvel, trade or hardcover, they are half off the cover price. You can get your book shipped weekly, twice monthly, get bags and boards. They're fantastic. I've used them for quite some time. So if you haven't already done so, please check them out at Discount Comic Book Service, dcbservice.com.
And I want to echo that because I'm the newest customer to that service among our merry band here, and zero complaints. They do such a wonderful job in the packaging. There haven't been any mistakes. Nothing's damaged. I can't compliment them enough.
I just added some books that I forgot to order originally. They took care of that for me, lickety split. But what you must do is you must place a previews catalog in your basket. Otherwise, you will not get one sent to you, Mr. Eberly.
Yeah, confession to the audience here. I forgot to put the previews in my basket, and the comic shops around me, the few that are left, nobody had it, which says something. So I'm using the PDF of the retailer order form, which has no pictures and has no descriptions of anything. So my contributions will not be as necessarily as effusive as they have been in the past, but I'll do the best I can.
I just wanted a full disclosure, that kind of thing.
Appreciate it.
And of course, we may have some people exiting during the show, so it's not you, it's us. All right, well, let's just jump right in. Unless there's someplace else we want to start at the very beginning. Good place to start. Dark Horse. What do we got for Dark Horse that catches anyone's eye?
Well, right out of the starting gate, we've got an exciting new imprint coming out from Dark Horse. Burger Books. Burger
That's
as in
correct.
Karen Burger.
That's correct.
Legendary original editor of Vertigo, the imprint at DC Comics. So now that well-known style of literate, supernatural, or otherwise surreal storytelling for which Vertigo was once known has found a new home at Dark Horse. And the first offering from Burger Books is a mini-series, 4 issues, of a series called Kitchen Nightmares Hungry Ghosts, written by famous celebrity chef Anthony Bourdain with some help from a man named Joel Rose, art by Alberto Ponticelli. And it's a 4-issue miniseries that combines Japanese folklore and ghost stories with the world of culinary arts, cookery. It's a tempting combination platter. And I believe
Bourdain is one of my favorite personalities on television. My wife and I never miss his CNN show, which is such an invaluable contribution just to our culture as far as I'm concerned. So I'm thrilled that he's writing another comic.
And the first issue is half off at DCBS, only $1.99.
All right, gentlemen, I have to ask because, again, I'm handicapped here because I don't have pictures. So Will Eisner, Contract with God, the Curator's Collection Edition. Is that like a newfangled, high-end version of the story?
It's like an artist's edition. It looks like there's 2 volumes. One is inks, one is pencils. It looks fantastic.
Wow, my
Look at that price there, Pansy.
Yeah.
Well, but it's limited to 125 copies only and includes a signed tip-in sheet from Will Eisner's archives
Now,
and
that's the
sports
limited
a
edition
unique variant slipcase. Oh, that's the other one. Okay, well, there's 2 different ones here. That's a limited edition, but
That'd be
man.
cool.
Yeah, wow. Yikes a hootie,
And
as the kids say.
I love that book. I read that book within the last 10 years. Yeah, that just has to look gorgeous.
Yeah, and isn't that, forgive me my ignorance if I am in fact that way now, one of the initial graphic novels? Original graphic novels?
It's widely considered the first OGN. I'm not sure if it actually really is the first OGN. Mr. Weathington can help us out with that. There might be some discrepancy there when people say that, but certainly he's considered the godfather of the graphic novel in general. But I can't say that for sure if that's truly the first OGN.
But yeah, this is reproduced at 1-to-1 ratio, original size from the original art. Gosh.
So if you've got $195 or $295 burning a hole in your pocket,
Yeah.
Or
there you go.
through DCBS, 117 and 177 respectively.
117 is not bad, actually.
40% off.
It's not bad at all. No.
40%
bad.
off.
There's a book on pages 46 and 47 called Vinegar Teeth that looks extremely strange. So if you're
Lovecraft meets Lethal Weapon.
you're a fan of the bizarre, give that a look. On page 54, there's a trade of a series called The Paybacks that I tried from Dark Horse and found mildly amusing a few years ago. It's about a team of fallen superheroes who have gotten work as bagmen, basically, a repo squad collecting on the defaulted loans of their fellow superheroes.
All right, anything else for Dark Horse? Or do you want to move on to DC?
I'm okay moving on.
Okay, and again, they're talking about the new age of heroes at DC, in this case, talking about Sideways #1 and the Terrifics #1. New issues coming out.
Funny they should call it the new age of DC heroes when it appears to consist mainly of knockoffs of old Marvel heroes.
Yeah. It's,
Sideways is pretty obvious. I mean,
well, now hang on a second here. What in the Terrifics? What is the Tom Strong cast doing in the Terrifics?
I don't know.
We're not sure yet.
They seem to be trying to fold them
Yeah.
back into the DC universe proper.
'Cause I really enjoyed those stories.
Oh, sure.
yeah.
Sure.
Man, oh man, I miss the ABC comics.
And
Oh,
and
my
out of
goodness,
the
It's not over yet for me. I'm still reading through 2003.
out of this new age of heroes thing, the Terrifics are ones that catch my eye of interest more than any of the
I mean,
others.
the creative team, Jeff Lemire,
Yep.
Yvonne Hayes, Joe Prado inks, and as much as I've been resistant to this, I mean, that's probably like a half off of DC. It's got to be a half off.
It's got to be.
So I may have to get the Terrifics.
I know I will. I mean, of all these new series that DC's floating here, that's the one that seems the most interesting. I mean,
Yeah.
clearly, it's based on just the concept of we're doing a Fantastic Four. Give us your money. But we can trust Jeff Lemire to
Yeah.
do more with it
Yeah,
than
right.
just
Yeah.
make a bad joke about the Fantastic Four.
Exactly.
Yeah, half off $1 and $1.40. And again, they're committed, I believe, with this line to $2.99 cover prices and no variant covers.
Holding that line.
Yeah.
So this Tom Strong thing has me interested.
Yeah, me too.
Page 75 has Swamp Thing Winter Special, written by Tom King, art by Jason Fabok. So
Two
that,
great creators there.
that can't be bad at all.
I'm all over that. Wow.
Let's not forget that it contains the final Swamp Thing story ever written by Swamp Thing's creator, the late Len Wein,
Oh, nice.
with art by Kelly Jones.
Oh, I didn't know that. Originally intended as the start of a new series.
I didn't know that
It's
either.
got both its original script and with art by Kelly Jones. Oh, man. All right.
Seems like a must.
You got me there.
Yep.
Also, I mean, yeah, I know it's Tom King. I don't want buy anything Tom King, unfortunately. Well, I know.
He'll never forgive you.
He shouldn't.
He won't hear this. It doesn't matter.
No.
Oh, yes, he will.
It's half
He
off.
stopped
so-
listening to podcasts a while ago.
There's going to be an email sent.
Well, you know, leave me alone. I'm going to buy it. I'm going to buy it, all right? I'm buying it.
See, you got him, Tom.
Well, it wasn't. I mean, Tom, a little bit more with the Len Wein thing, honestly.
Speaking of
King.
Tom, are we all reading Mr. Miracle?
Yes.
Oh man, the guy. I mean, Tom. I mean, he is consistently one of the best writers in comics now.
Yeah.
I'm in awe of what he's doing. I can't wait. The Swamp Thing Winter Special. I normally wouldn't buy a book that's $8. I'm buying this one.
No, I wouldn't either. But yeah, how do you resist that?
Shane, have you read Batman: The White Knight? I'm hearing all this raves about
Sean
this book.
Gordon Murphy, is that correct?
No,
I'm
I have
hearing a
not.
lot of good things about that as well.
Okay,
I
I'm
have
going
not.
to track down issue 1.
I mean, do you know the basic premise behind it?
I do, yes.
Okay.
So I've been hearing buzz about this book. I'm just wondering if any of you guys read the first issue.
Basically, I guess the Joker's been rehabilitated.
Yeah,
And it's sort of the story of now who's the villain in Gotham. Yeah. It is intriguing. And every time I go into Golden Eagle, and I'm going again on this Wednesday to get a couple new comics, I see they still have a few issues of one on the shelf.
Yeah.
And now issue 2 is also out. I'm thinking, maybe if I win the football pool.
Do you fancy your chances this week?
Well, I don't know. Not too. I'm sorry, but last week, remember how it was? I had a 10 out of 11 right.
you were
Yeah.
so close.
And Kansas City was a tiebreaker. I had it, and the points. They gave up a late garbage touchdown at Denver, and
Broncos
it
had-
cost me $10 at Golden Eagle. Oh, I was so upset.
That's all right. The Eagles punished them for you this
Yeah, go green. Anyway,
week. That's telling them.
okay.
Let's see. Page
Go ahead. Who's up?
page 80. We got
Hey, you missed the Doomsday Clock.
Well, that's every month.
But how
though.
about that page 79? That image with Batman.
that's the one I ordered.
Anyway,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, there, Mr. Birdo.
Okay, so I'm assuming that's Rorschach's journal he's reading there.
Yes, it is.
Okay,
La
so-
da 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 da.
La-da-dee-dee-doo. On page 80. Raven, Daughter of Darkness, a 12-issue maxi series by Raven's creator, Marv Wolfman. Art by Pop Man.
Wow.
He teams up Raven with another one of Wolfman's 80s creations, Baron Winters of Night Force.
Ooh.
Intriguing, but I gotta be honest. 12 issues?
It seems like a lot, doesn't it?
Seems like a
does.
lot. And again, the cynic in me, it's $3.99. Granted, great creative team, great character. Who is going to buy this for 12 issues?
Pants. My catalog says
Good point.
$2.99 for that.
It's printed here,
It's
$3.99.
printed here in the
Okay.
previews.
$2.99
I'm looking-
would be a little easier to swallow.
I'm looking at my again because I have my PDF retailer catalog. The SRP they list here, Raven, Daughter of Darkness, right?
Yep.
SRP is $2.99. So there's a discrepancy.
There
I know.
is.
I like your version better.
I do too.
Well, let's. Yeah, but it all depends on what everybody else. But yeah, now you're right. Actually, DCBS has it at half off at $1.49. So,
All right.
but again, my original question remains: even though it's still $2.99, who's going to support this book for 12
for
issues?
12 issues.
Not an A-list character. That's only my question. I mean, great. It's great to see this thing published, but that's my question. Anyway, I'll let it go.
I take your point.
More rhetorical than anything else. Moving on.
Page 83,
What is
page
stage left? What are the Snagglepuss Chronicles?
Okay, so this is from the creator of that Flintstone series that came out a little while ago.
Mark Russell.
Right, exactly. It got so much critical praise. It got a lot of love from our fans for the Best of Awards that
And
year.
I still have those issues. I think I'm missing one that one of our listeners gave us that in
At
C2E2,
C2E2, yeah.
and we will read it at some point once I get them all. So my apologies. Because he wanted us to read it, and yes, I will read it. And talk about it on the air, of course, as well.
Naturally. And so, Exit Stage Left, the Snagglepuss Chronicles, is kind of him doing the same thing, but he's reimagining Snagglepuss as a gay playwright from the American South, kind of a Truman Capote with pink fur, set in 1953. So the misadventures of that character as he goes up against such wacky antagonists as the House Committee on Un-American Activities.
And I look in the lower left corner, it says, Murgatroyd ad Caelum. What does that mean, Murd?
Murgatroyd to the heavens.
Kudos. Oh, man.
I'm excited for Booster Gold to be in 2 more issues
Yes,
of Action Comics.
We thought you would.
Yeah.
With Dan Jurgens bringing, talking about his old buddy Booster Gold.
Yeah, it definitely cannot be bad.
I mean, it could be. I'm hoping it's not.
It's not.
Okay.
Shane, when I have the Justice League Omnibus that we've talked about, the Blahaha, I know you got a copy as well.
Yes.
And I think that's going to be one of my holiday reads.
Okay.
So we can, because I've never read the entire arc, only parts of it. So
Okay.
I'm looking forward to discussing that with you on the air.
Excellent. Dead Man number 3 has a funky gimmick cover. Final cover will reveal a hidden message when tilted.
Yeah, he's done that in the past.
Did he do that
There's
in the
actually
past?
an homage to that in 52 by
Really?
Pat Olive. Yes.
Huh. I don't remember that.
It says like, "Hey, a Neil Adams effect" was the message in one of the issues. Yeah. In fact,
Okay.
I think when it got me sorry, but when Elongated Man went to the mythical place.
Nanda Parbat?
That's the place.
Huh!
I'm so stupid sometimes.
Are you still Total Cyber? Are you still watching Flash?
Yes.
Are you watching Flash?
Did you see the episode
see
from
the-
last
Oh
week?
my God!
What
yes.
an awesome episode!
The nose thing. I was almost plotting.
I was
knew it.
laughing the
Oh
whole
my
time.
God! I love that.
and the kids thought I was crazy.
By the way, I'm sorry if I'm yelling everybody
Oh.
out there.
No,
but
they appreciate your enthusiasm.
that was
Oh
a
my
fantastic
God.
episode.
Wasn't it, though? I haven't enjoyed an episode of The Flash that much in a long time.
Oh, yeah.
And stupid me, I didn't get that from the preview the week before. I'm like, okay, some guy who's losing malleability. Not even thinking Elongated Man, Plastic Man. Why the hell I didn't think that, I have no idea. But as soon as they came up and they said, and Ralph Dibny, I'm like, oh my God, Ralph Dibny. We got a Ralph Dibny. And the kids are like, what's wrong with you? I'm like, oh my God, it's Elongated Man.
But what we didn't get, and what we could get if he stays around, which, again, he hit me.
He's going to be.
He's going to be around?
I hope so.
So we might get a Sue Dibny then?
I hope so.
Without a
Gentlemen, I apologize. I had got a family-related text. I have to depart earlier than I thought. I apologize for that.
That's no problem, Chris. Family comes
I have
first.
less than 5 to do the same thing this week.
But I wanted to just shout out a couple quick things.
Sure.
If you're not reading Deathstroke, you're missing one of the best comics DC's publishing right now. Not just because it's Christopher Priest, because he's taking the character in a very interesting new direction. In that Deathstroke has had this awakening, and it seems like he's trying to be benevolent. The question is he really benevolent or not? It's fascinating. I highly recommend that series. And I'm sure Pants will praise the new Strangers in Paradise.
Oh, yikes!
My God,
absolutely.
can I not wait for that?
Yeah.
And also, on the cover, David Walker, a writer I've been praising for the past year, Power Man Iron Fist, Luke Cage, Shaft, he's taking on Ursus, the malevolent general from Beneath the Planet of the Apes, the gorilla general. So I am very psyched for that. I'm sorry I got to go, guys. I apologize to you and the listeners. Things are hectic these days. So
That's all right, Chris.
Understood.
I will talk to you all very soon, gentlemen, and have a damn good night.
You got
Take
it.
All right, take care, brothers.
All right.
Bye.
Bye, Chris.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, I cannot wait for that Strangers in Paradise. Oh my God.
But yes, still in the DC though, Shane.
I know. But I had to agree with him.
Page 99, we've got a Detective Comics annual written by James Tynan IV, and it's telling us the post-Flashpoint origin of Clayface, who has been a recurring character in the Detective Comics series.
Yes.
I've really liked him in that too. I've really enjoyed that he's part of that.
Okay. Anybody reading Flash?
Yes, but I'm behind, but I am
Okay.
getting it.
Flash War Prelude in the Flash Annual, which is, they claim it to be the biggest Flash story of 2018, starting here.
It's good there's only 12 months in 2018.
Because again, I stopped reading it but the whole Wily West thing still has me intrigued.
Yeah.
But I want to go see what's happening with the Doomsday Clock, which that should be coming out in a couple of weeks.
Yep.
Can't wait for that. That's going to be a real thorough read for what I'm seeing.
I hope so.
I saw the first 6 preview pages, and yeah, well, I don't want to talk about it right now.
Page 118, James Robinson is still writing Wonder Woman. And so in the 2 issues coming out in January, it's a new arc featuring the Silver Swan. Classic Wonder Woman foe.
I keep trying to stop getting Scooby-Doo team up.
Oh,
you
can't
stop sucking me
Do
in.
you see the team up on this one?
Yes.
Of course you do.
Batgirl and Huntress, the Birds of Prey with Black Canary. Yes.
And their newest members, Velma and Daphne.
Yeah.
You know, I may have to actually order that one. That's,
Oh, my God.
Because I so enjoyed some other ones. Like, of course, the one with Quick Draw and Draw on El Capone.
Uh-huh.
Thank you for that one, Adam.
My pleasure.
Oh, come on. That's incidentally my mom's favorite Hanna-Barbera character.
El Capone?
Yep.
I have the pop figure of El Capone.
I have the McFarlane figure.
Oh, my God, that's right. We used to have one of those in the studio, too.
Yeah. Yep. Oh, man. I don't know if we had Quick Draw.
Why are you holding your microphone, Shane?
Because I got to leave in a second.
Oh, that's right. Okay. I should have taken the hint.
Yeah.
Well, anything else DC-related, Shane? Or we'll let you take the floor for now. Lightning round, Shane, go!
Lightning round. I think it's interesting that they're coming out with Challengers as the Unknown by Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale hardcover. Like, why now? There's got to be something else hopefully coming to that. But that's a pretty good read. I enjoyed that story.
Challengers are fairly topical because they show up in metal.
Okay. All right. I didn't get that far. I'm a little bit behind on
There's
my
also the
metal
100th anniversary Kirby influence, possibly.
Could
Another
be.
good point.
Could be. DC Universe by Neil Gaiman, trade paperback. That might be pretty good, although I'm sure I have a bunch of those issues. Green Lantern Corps, Beware Their Power, Volume 1 hardcover. That's kind of an interesting thing to collect. Green Lantern Corps 207 to 215 and Tales of the Green Lantern Corps Annual 2. I'm glad to see that they're collecting the Jack Kirby 100 trades, although I've tracked down all but one issue that I care to get. Superman President Luthor trade on 132. That's kind of interesting. And the Many Worlds of Krypton above it. Teen Titans Book 2 by Jeff Johns. And Young Justice Book 2. God, if you've never read that book, that was such a good book back in the day.
A lot of fun. A lot of fun.
God, I love that book. And let's see.
But anything else for the entire book? You know.
I like the Harley Quinn black, white, and red statue that's back in there.
Okay.
And I'm still getting all the Star Wars stuff from Marvel. And Strangers in Paradise. That's... God, you can't go wrong with that.
Are you going to get the Battlestar Galactica meets Battlestar Galactica miniseries?
Or Versus from Dynamite.
Yes, maybe
It's Peter David.
I know, and that's I was just gonna bypass that. I'm like, nah, and then I saw Peter David. I'm like, oh,
It's gonna be good. I gotta
it's
buy
probably gonna be good. I really like what he did with Star Trek Frontier and various other things that he's written over the years, of course. Yeah, I may try at least the first issue. I'm always unimpressed with the artwork in those books.
Yeah, Dynamite usually doesn't blow the budget on the artwork.
Yeah, but boy, I can't not give a Peter David written issue a try, crossing over both series. I'm actually rewatching Battlestar, the newer one right now. I'm in season 2. I got it on iTunes when it was on sale or something like that. I never had all the seasons, and it's been so long, and they hardly rerun that sucker. So when it was cheap, I bought it, and yeah, I'm really enjoying rewatching that. So when I saw that, I thought, all right, maybe. But yeah, so there you go. That's my lightning round.
All right.
Can't wait for Strangers.
We're going to have to, unfortunately.
Well, I might start rereading. I keep wanting to reread that
Yeah.
series.
Yeah,
That's the thing.
that's one
It's
thing.
been so long.
I've got all 6 volumes. I don't think I've read more than 2 at the most.
God, I cried
If
at
I
the
could,
last volume.
if I could find where mine are, I'd read them overnight at work. But I have all the issues.
Yeah.
Because I'm reading Monster right now overnight. So
God, I cried at the last issue of that. The last series, the book of that. Good book.
All right,
right.
Shane.
Thanks, guys.
You're very welcome. Viacon Rios.
Asi Talahuega.
You got it. All right, so we'll continue to soldier on with Adam and myself. And was there anything else from DC we needed to bring up, Adam?
I don't think so. Not for my money, anyway.
Okay.
Yeah, I know that the Many Worlds of Krypton trade paperback looked interesting. Shane mentioned that.
Yep.
But yeah, let's go into IDW.
Okay, where it happens to be Funko Cover Month. Pops, everybody loves them. And this month, we're featuring funny, futuristic, and freaky Funko Pops as part of our Funko Cover Month. You love the alliteration, don't you?
I sure do. Print those Funko covers, IDW boy.
Well, I mean, not too much here catches my eye. There's, of course, a lot of licensed products here for comics. You know, there's just Star Trek. Stretch, is that Stretch Armstrong that I see there?
It's the new Stretch Armstrong and the Flex Fighters. There's a new kids Netflix series apparently to cross-promote the new toy line. Yeah, it's not any Stretch Armstrong I know, though.
Okay. Of course, there's My Little Pony and Ghostbusters.
Great. So it appears to be a Rockwell-inspired cover there on issue number 62 by our friend Andy Price. Yeah, not a whole lot else here, I'll agree.
Well, the trade of Time and Vine is listed here on page 176 from Tom Zoller. I have all the issues. I think I read issue 2 already, but again, just great stuff. Wonderful concept about sort of like going back in time. We drink wine to that particular year. It was created.
It's about time travel through wine consumption.
Yes, I know that's Danny's right up Danny's alley.
Yeah, in 2 different ways. Saucer State by Paul Cornell and Dread Gods by Ron Mars and Tom Rainey and Bart Sears, which is kind of like a throwback to 90s cosmic superhero storytelling. So that I think I bought the individual issues of all 3 things that are traded on that page.
Now, this is sort of interesting. On page 182, Frank chose Savage Wolverine Artists Edition. This is a really relatively recent publication that they've just given the Arts Edition treatment to. Now, I love Frank Cho's artwork. I really do. But I'm just, I guess if it's good art, it doesn't matter how old it is. But
that is the show.
But again, the thing about having this reprinted is it doesn't have the word balloons like a lot of the older original art does, because that's all done digitally now. The word balloons and text boxes and so forth. But it is good to see his artwork though unencumbered by that, and the line work, because he is just a master with these things. I mean, just so love all of his work. But so actually, that's not a. Now I think about it, yeah. I mean, I'm not going to buy it because I have way too many of these things, but this actually is really going to be worth it here. The first 5 issues of his Savage Wolverine in all its glory. I'm sorry, was there anything else from IDW, Adam?
One more thing I just noticed.
Certainly.
On page 173. This is the publication of the 4th and final issue of the Frankenstein Alive miniseries, written by Steve Niles, art by Bernie Wrightson, and also Kelly Jones. Now, Bernie Wrightson is dead now, is he not?
Yes, he is.
Yeah, so Kelly Jones, a very worthy successor and inheritor here, steps in to help finish up what Bernie Wrightson started.
Like he finished up with Len Wein in that Swamp Thing special.
There you go. So it's issue number 4. This has been chronically late ever since it began. I mean, even this began well before Wrightson died, obviously. But the first 3 issues came out very infrequently, and now they finally, with help from Kelly Jones, finished up the 4th and final issue. And they're also IDW is publishing a collected edition of the first 3 issues in case people missed them, as they were sporadically published over the past couple of years. So there you go, 4 issues worth of Wrightsonian black and white Frankenstein horror. So those of you who may have bought the first few issues and have forgotten about it, the 4th issue is finally coming out in January.
Okay. So now on to Image?
On to Image.
Okay. Now I'm a little behind in my Walking Dead reading, but I am still getting Walking Dead. But issue 175 is a gem of the month. It's a new story arc, New World Order Part 1. New friends, new enemies, new threats. It's a whole new world. I'm still going to be sticking with it because it's still entertaining enough for me. And it's like not enough for me to jump off at this point. Sometimes I do look at things, dump that.
But it hasn't reached that point for you yet.
Not for me. I know Chris has very strong feelings about it.
He threw up his hands sometime ago.
Yes, but I'm still digging it. And if it gets to a point where I'm not, I can clearly just stop.
That option is always
yeah, sure, exactly. It's my money, and it's my stuff there.
Yep, I still haven't read any further with The Walking Dead since we did that Book of the Month on it back in 2007.
That was only on the first 5 issues, I think.
That was more than that. I thought it was like 2 volumes.
Well, okay. If we did 2 volumes, then it was 10 issues.
I'm pretty sure I read at least that far. But yeah, one of these days, maybe once the series wraps up.
Well, you're still stuck about 14 years in the past, so I don't necessarily think it'll be anything on your to-do list right away.
There's no hurry.
There's no hurry. Right, there's no hurry.
Now, page 191, we've got the start of a new series called Ice Cream Man, which is apparently going to be something of an anthology series showcasing tales of human misery and suffering, but it's got ice cream in it. So,
Oh, is that the running theme?
yeah, that's apparently, just judging by the solicitation copy. Ice Cream Man is a genre-defying comic book series featuring disparate one-shot tales of sorrow, wonder, and redemption. Each installment features its own cast of strange characters dealing with their own special Sunday of suffering. That sounds like something I would say. And on the periphery of all of them, like the twinkly music of his colorful truck, is the Ice Cream Man himself, a weaver of stories, a purveyor of sweet treats, friend, foe, god, demon. The man who, with a snap of his fingers, lickety-split, can change the course of your life forever. It's got ice cream in it.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to at least have a little sample cone. Which means I'll probably check it out on the shelf at Golden Eagle and decide.
I'm
if
not
I
a big ice cream fan, so I'm going to pass.
I adore ice cream. I'll eat. I once, when I was in college, ate ice cream in the middle of a snowstorm. I was within walking distance of the famous Penn State Creamery. I was like 2 blocks away from it, and I just went up there and got myself a cone of some kind of peppermint-flavored stuff, and I ate it walking home through the snow.
Okay. What a pastiche you've illustrated for us right there.
No wrong time to eat ice cream, my friend.
Okay.
If you enjoy it, and if you don't, that's fine
Did
too.
you get brain freeze, though?
Never.
Never.
Well, okay, I shouldn't say never, but not that
Yeah,
time.
never say never.
Yeah, it rarely happens to me while I'm eating ice cream.
I believe the cure for that, temporarily at least, is to stick your tongue in the roof of your mouth.
Is that so?
Something to do with the heat and whatever, I don't know.
Okay, I'll try it.
Or just knock yourself silly and,
Usually I just rub my temples.
well, whatever works.
There's all kinds of folk remedies out there.
Boy, this is what happens when Chris and Shane leave. We just start going off on a tangent.
We should not be left to our own devices, clearly.
Now, again, there's many ongoings from Image. I get, Paper Girls. Sex Criminal has a new issue coming out.
That's rare.
Yeah, it is. Still enjoying that. 5 Finger Discount Part 1. Up is down and black is white. And the sex isn't happening. Neither is the crime. What is this book even? That's an hysterical book. Love that. But yeah, anything else from Image that catches your eye there, sir?
Looks like a new arc is beginning for Kill or Be Killed.
Uh-huh.
Keep up with that. And there's probably some issue of The Wicked and the Divine. No, there isn't. There's a trade. Okay, volume 6
Okay.
coming out. And the 3rd issue of that Void Trip miniseries. It looks like such psychedelic, trippy enjoyment. Yep. Other than that, I think I'm done with Image.
All right, so then on to Marvel.
To Marvel it is.
Okay. Marvel Legacy continues. On the cover of the insert, Avengers number 675, No Surrender.
And this is part 1 of a weekly... Did I see somewhere that it's 16-part story. Written by Mark Waid, but also by Al Ewing and Jim Zub, I guess, alternating. And, yeah.
Avengers goes weekly for the stunning 16-part saga that will write the end of an era. W-R-I-T-E, end of an era. Interesting. I mean, again, I'm just not really getting... I hate being... But yeah, I mean, all I'm getting from Marvel is pretty much like Thor right now, and Jessica Jones as well. Oh. Now that my beloved Silver Surfer has ended and issue 14 came out, I enjoyed it. That last page, I would love to get that framed somewhere. That is just a gorgeous page. The tribute in there with his cosmic powers just knocked me out. It's a great series. Somebody on the forums, they had their opinions. Kind of things like that, like meh. Twitter, I'm like, meh. What the heck with you and your meh? It's good stuff. But hey, you're entitled to your opinion.
And you're entitled to shake your fist at their opinion.
Yes, sure.
Yeah. Let's see where we're... pages 16 and 17. Guardians of the Galaxy, legacy numbered 150 and 151, written by Jerry Duggan, Marcus Toe artwork. So Adam Warlock re-entering the picture.
where has he been? I wasn't aware he had gone.
Oh, he's been everywhere, man.
Okay.
I mean, just read the series of Infinity hardcovers, like original graphic novels that Jim Starlin has
Which
been
I
putting
probably
out.
should in time for the movie next year.
I can loan them to you.
You certainly can.
But yeah, he has been hanging out with Thanos, and I don't know if what's happening here is going to in any way, come off or will spin out of what happened in those hardcovers. But Adam Warlock is rejoining the Guardians of the Galaxy here, and I might be more inclined to pick it up, but I don't know. Well, let me just put it this way: I have made it a personal vow not to knowingly purchase any Marvel comic that uses the words Infinity Stones.
Okay.
They are gems. Marvel can't be bothered to get that right. I can't be bothered to support their product.
Right there it says in issue 150, Infinity Stones are in the solicit there.
So, on that.
Yeah, you got to take care of your audience here, Marvel, here,
Well, I think they think they're taking care of the imaginary movie viewer crossover fan base, but yeah, screw that. Acknowledge your history, please. And then, here's something that Chris, I know, would be going gaga over if he were still with us. Rise of the Black Panther, on pages 20 and 21. 6-issue miniseries, co-written by journalist Evan Narcisse, making his comic book debut, and Ta-Nehisi Coates, who made his comic debut not long ago on the Black Panther as well. Art by Paul Renaud, and it's a retelling of the origin and backstory, the early days of T'Challa, as he becomes the Black Panther.
And kudos to Marvel for the timing. This should be on the shelf when the Black Panther movie comes into theaters in February. So I think
sure it will.
because we always talk about, do movies drive people to read comics? And the overall opinion has been probably more not.
Yeah.
But if you do want to get some more information after seeing the movie, this is a good place to go. It's a brand new comic. I like the way they're doing with that.
There are probably some comic retailers and or distributors that are trying to get these things into the lobbies of movie theaters.
Absolutely, yeah.
Just put it into their promotional budget, I guess, and maybe put some freebies out there.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, that's going to be happening. And then on the very next couple of pages, a 12-issue multi-issue stories getting out there.
Yeah, because that's sort of fallen by the wayside in most recent times, other than things like The Vision, of course, and now Mr. Miracle. The 12-issue series, from my opinion, from my observations.
Well, I think a lot of the ongoing series that the big two have been floating to us have always been kind of backdoor miniseries, like things that could become ongoing series if the public response is strong enough. I think they're maybe just starting to be a little more honest with us now, again. Instead of saying, hey, here's an ongoing series about this character, they're just saying...
And cancel it, it's going to be, it's strictly, okay.
This is a story that's got a beginning, middle, and end, and we're just going to tell you that up front.
And we're talking about Old Man Hawkeye.
Right. Set in the same continuity, the same alternate future as Old Man Logan. And apparently it's got the Venom symbiote in it, too. And Jamie Madrox, the Multiple Man.
There you
Look
go.
at that. Yeah, it's written by Ethan Sachs, a name that I do not know.
Nor I.
Oh, they call him a rising star writer. Means, newbie. Doesn't mean he's not a talented writer.
Oh, sure.
Means that we haven't really had a chance to see what he can do.
Certainly.
And the art is by Marco Cecchetto.
Kudos for even attempting that.
Another name I don't really know. Okay, and then on the next page, we've got a 5-issue Legion miniseries written by Peter Milligan. Perfect writer to take on that particular character. Just the right kind of weirdness for his writing style. And then a 5-issue Rogue and Gambit miniseries, that 90s X-Men power couple reluctantly reunited to go on a special mission, which they're sent on by another one of my favorite X characters, Kitty Pryde. This is written by Kelly Thompson, art by Per Perez. Captain America 697, Wade and Somni again. Cap goes up against Kraven the Hunter.
And then there's a lot of more ongoings. And I mentioned about bundles. DCBS has a Marvel Legacy bundle. Try these 71 Marvel Legacy issues for half off. So if you wanted to go whole hog, you can get all 71 for half off in the DCBS
Whole hog and
bundle.
a couple of its piglets. My goodness, 71 issues.
Yep.
That's a big bundle.
It sure is.
Oh, well, let's see.
Now, I must say, I was sort of intrigued on page 47 when they relaunched Marvel 2-in-1. I like the writer Chip Zdarsky, and I love Jim Cheung's artwork. I sort of passed on it, but that's still I love that concept. I know you did from back in the Bronze Age.
You betcha.
Good to see them bring that back.
I am going to be reading it.
When?
What?
When?
Okay. Whenever. I will be buying it against the possibility of reading it at some undetermined future time.
Okay. Well, you'll definitely, what's your phrase? Skim it is what you say?
Yes.
Okay.
I shall. Oh, and on page 48,
Yeah.
you're desperate for your Silver Surfer fix.
Yeah, but, once you've had the combination of Dan Slott and Mike Allred, you got to help me out with something better than just, and Beetle Squirrel having a cameo appearance, more or less.
Yeah. It's. Yeah,
I mean, I could be completely wrong,
the
but
flavor of that series is very different.
yeah, Silver Surfer needs to sort of be just put on the shelf for a while after that series, in my opinion, because that's just so. Again, it's my opinion, so good. But someday will come out with a fascinating story, and I'll be on board for that as well for a little while.
See, page 53, The Falcon. I am going to be buying that series. I think I probably already own the first issue.
I was going to say, yeah, at this point, you should.
And Dr. Voodoo is in it. So that's good reason.
Mm-hmm.
Like that character. All right, now page 59. Now this one I think I'm almost certainly going to buy. X-Men Gold Annual #1. It's an Excalibur reunion. The page here says it's the 20th anniversary, but it means 30th. Because the very first appearance of Excalibur in the Excalibur The Sword is Drawn one-shot, that was 1988. So 2018, that would be the 30th anniversary. And so the band's getting back together. Kitty and Nightcrawler are there, a version of Rachel Summers, and also Brian and Megan Braddock, and they apparently have a little baby. So they're all together again, and there's an Alan Davis cover. Interior art by Aletha E. Martinez.
Okay, which is a nice cover. Now, here's my very, very minor nitpick. If you have a newborn baby, why would you be holding on, staying on top of a rooftop?
Well, if you can
at the edge.
If you can fly, it's not such an issue.
Can she fly?
Yeah.
Well, okay, see, I didn't know that. All right, so... All right.
It's among other talents.
I know, just wait a minute.
Yeah, her powers and her life force are tied to the UK, so the British Isles. So they're clearly in London, so she's right in the heart of it. She can certainly fly and shapeshift and do all that fun stuff.
Okay.
And even if she couldn't, her husband can. So, and then the baby might be able to fly it.
Okay, it was just an odd thing. I'm sorry I've been brought it up now.
They're not Michael Jackson. They're more responsible than that.
I should certainly hope so. My goodness. Dangling baby.
Yeah, dangling baby. Let's see what else is sticking out here. Okay, there's a Star Wars, getting into the Star Wars section here on page 80. Star Wars The Last Jedi, DJ, #1. So apparently with a photo cover of what appears to be Benicio del Toro. I think that's who we're looking at. I could be wrong.
Okay, well...
But anyway, it's a photo.
It says right there in the solicit who it is. The mysterious character played by Benicio del Toro. It says right there in the solicit.
All right, there we go. And DJ, okay, that's the character's name apparently. Something from the upcoming The Last Jedi movie. So that's something that they're doing. Written by Ben Acker and Ben Blacker with art by Kev Walker. Darth Vader by Charles Soule continues. And then we get into the collected editions.
The voluminous amount of collected editions, yes.
Yeah, there are a lot.
Does anything stand out to you in there? I mean, there's so many of them.
Another Marvel Masterworks edition of... it's Marvel Team Up. Okay. Well, I think neither one of us really needs to spring for that because we've got most of the issues.
Right.
You've got all of them, don't you? There's a trade of Inhumans Once and Future Kings by Christopher Priest and Ryan North. Fourth issue of that just came out this past week. I see here on page 112, we've got the last time Marvel attempted a Legion series, written by another specialist in the strange, Cy Spurrier, with art by Tan-Eng Huat, whom I remember for his run on Doom Patrol in the early 2000s. So that's in time for Peter Milligan's Legion miniseries, and I guess for the premiere of Season 2 of Legion on FX.
I'm hoping, yeah.
So they've got 2 volumes of that coming out, one in January and one in February from the looks of it. There's a trade paperback of a Mace Windu miniseries, a hardcover of that Marjorie Liu Han Solo miniseries. Here's on page 116. Here's a reprinting of the Captain America: The Adventures of Captain America from the very early 90s. Also reprinting some classic 1940s Cap newspaper strips. So there's Kevin Maguire artwork in this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is a little known gem that I've heard some of our listeners talk up to us, and that I picked up. Remember when Chris had those Wild Pig sales at that local Holiday Inn?
Yes.
Yep, I think I found the issues of The Adventures of Captain America at that sale. I think I was in my Prez costume at the time. So yeah, good story, written by two of my favorite writers, Fabian Nicieza and Carl Kiesel, art by Kev Maguire. Can't go wrong there. On the facing page is a collection of one of my favorite Marvel ongoing series of the past 10 years, The Avengers Academy, which is kind of the it was like the aftershock of the Avengers The Initiative series that Dan Slott wrote for a while. And so Christos Engage and others were the writers of this. It's a bunch of promising new young characters. It was Marvel trying something with some newer characters, introducing some new blood, which of course has, for the most part, not been seen much since the series was canceled, but at least they tried. And it was a good series, I must say. And it looks like the whole thing is collected here in this one trade. On page 118, we've got an Iron Man collection with some famous stories from the Copper Age, that one where Iron Man and Dr. Doom go back in time to Camelot. Here's the Cross Time Caper on page 120, a great rollicking good time Excalibur story from the team of Claremont and Davis, and also some other creators. So that was Excalibur ricocheting madly through different alternate realities and just having a ball doing it. Page 123, we've got some more Marvel Monster Works. Werewolf by Night, collecting issues 16 through 30 of that series, plus Giant Size Creatures #1, Giant Size Werewolf by Night numbers 2 through 4, and Monsters Unleashed numbers 6 and 7. So it's mostly about Jack Russell, Werewolf by Night, but with a few other Marvel monsters thrown in for good measure.
All right, that'll be it for Marvel then?
It will be for me.
All right, then on to the rest of the book. All right, so yes, the rest of the book, when the right there at the very beginning, Abstract Studios, Strangers in Paradise, 25, #1. Terry Moore, America's favorite couple, is back. To celebrate its 25th anniversary, the Eisner Award-winning series is back with an all-new story, beginning with its #1 issue. Francine and Kachu are living the dream until they learn a former Parker girl is in hiding and writing a tell-all book about the wicked empire Darcy Parker built with Kachu at her side. Determined to stop her, Kachu enlists the aid of her mercenary sister Tambi, and the hunt is on. This is going to be 10 issues as I understand it. And wow, just one of the great series I've read that's outside of like my comfort zone, because I only really knew about this through Jamie. Jamie got us involved in it.
He's definitely the most vocal advocate of it among our little group.
Again, we've had Terry on the show many times.
We have.
I say this all the time. One of the best things we've ever done, and that I will take with me after the show somehow eventually ends, is the episodes we did with him, going over all the pocket editions, talking with him for hours on end. The creator about the whole series. It's wonderful. Looking forward to this very, very much. And it's always tough sometimes when you revisit classic series. There's a lot of hits and misses out there, but I'm pretty confident this is going to be a hit. All right. So again, this is sort of where I'm a little bit deficient in the back of the book, but I have a few things, so we'll go on. So what catches your eye here, Adam?
Yep, hit those up as we get to them. Archie is...
oh, my God, I almost forgot about Archie. Holy cow, how could I forget about that?
Yeah, that's kind of a big deal.
Oh, it sure is.
You mentioned that weeks ago. I was looking at Cosmo, because this is actually an older Archie comics character, not related to Riverdale in any way, of course, but Cosmo the Merry Martian had his own short-lived series from MLJ back in the 50s, I think.
Okay.
So they're bringing him back. So I don't know if I necessarily want to read the 20 teens adventures of Cosmo, but it's cool that they're at least digging deeper into their library.
Yeah.
But the real headline here is on page 276. So
Yes.
go, man, go.
The Archies #4, guest starring the Monkees. The Archies go ape when they find themselves in the swinging 60s, face to face with rock pop icons, the Monkees. And I was too slow when I heard about this to get the Mike Allred cover the original art for that cover, because when I inquired about it, it had already sold. And actually, it turned up on Twitter last week. I saw somebody I think it was actually the gentleman who's his rep, posted that the guy who's getting it. So I know who's getting it. I don't know the person personally, but
Do you know where he lives?
But I thought, because it's not actually pictured here. The cover's been out there. I've seen both the illustrated cover and the black and white original from Mike Allred, and it's like, but I do have the original art to the cover from Joe Eisma for cover C. And the main cover by Greg Smolt, actually, it's all digital, so there's no originals for that. But anyway, looking forward to getting this. I just ordered the one shot off of eBay because I didn't have that before. I already have issue 1 when I got the cover from Joe Eisman. Actually, issue 2 comes out this Wednesday, so I'm going to go get that at the store when I get my other comics on Wednesday. So looking forward to that very much. Yeah, the Monkees. You had me at the Monkees. And interesting tidbit, in case you don't already know, the cover there pictured this, where they're playing Sugar Sugar by the Archies, was originally offered to the Monkees.
That song was.
Yes, that song was through Don Kirshner. Originally brought that song to the Monkees, where they passed on it because they were trying to do their own thing. Came with the Archies, and the rest of that say is history. So anyway, that's my whole Archie rant there about Monkees. Yay, Monkees!
I, too, shall buy it.
Yay. I am buying all 3 covers.
Oh, right. I'll stick to just one.
Which one are you going to buy?
I think I'm probably going to get the Smallwood cover, actually.
Okay.
I've seen the all-red one, too.
Mm-hmm.
There's something just more Monkees-ish about it. Yeah, on the Smallwood main cover, that is.
Yeah.
Okay, under Aspen, issue number 5 of the Zoo Hunters is coming out, so that's back on track after being very late for a number of years. That's a
number of years?
Yeah, a couple of years, yeah. Written and drawn by Peter Steigerwald. It's a story of a father and son team of rare animal hunters that go out into outer space and hunt down endangered species for zoos.
And did you read the solicit at the bottom of it there?
The penultimate issue.
The penultimate issue! Yeah! I love that word. Sorry.
It's quite all right.
I don't get out much.
I've given you the etymology of it before.
I believe you have. Pen and ultimate. There you go.
Paene ultima, which in Latin means almost final.
You and your Latin. It's a dead language. Get over it.
Tell that to the Pope. I dare you.
He won't understand me. Maybe he will. I'm sure he speaks English.
He
doesn't
speaks many languages.
Many languages. Boy, just when you thought you couldn't get any further of a tangent in previews, talking about the Pope.
We love to challenge ourselves, don't we?
As Chris mentioned on page 292 from Boom, Planet of the Apes, Ursus #1 by David Walker.
Mm-hmm. A writer, Chris Reveres. Mm-hmm. And opposite that, Kong on the Planet of the Apes, with art by Carlos Magno, who, as I said before, is an artist I revere.
I'm going to jump ahead to page 322 from Dynamite. How would you pronounce that? Because I've never actually I don't think, heard that pronounced.
Let me see. Deja Thoris.
Okay. That's why. An introductory rate, issue 0 of only 25 cents, and it's 12 cents at DCBS. How can you go wrong?
Well, for 12 cents, I think I'd buy almost anything. And a couple of pages further on beyond that, page 326, the first issue of a 6-issue miniseries in which the 1978 original Battlestar Galactica cast of characters meets those from the Sci-Fi Channel reboot of 2003.
That's an interesting concept. And in Peter David's hands...
It will be readable.
Yes.
And then some. Art by Johnny Desjardins. So yes, I know. Well, I have the first season of the 2003 reboot on DVD. I've seen it. I've seen all of the 1978 original. I prefer the 1978 original.
Of course you do.
So if they're going to fight, I hope they win.
Or it could be like
Challenge them all to a game of Pyramid.
could be a tie.
Another one of Dynamite's James Bond miniseries in the offing here, page 329, The Body. As Bond undergoes a post-mission medical examination, he relays the story of his previous mission to the examiner. Each cut, bruise, and broken bone connected to a specific event of the mission. So it's a story in scar tissue.
How about that?
Interesting device.
Yeah.
There's a trade collection of that 5-issue Mighty Mouse series.
Yeah, I just got the last issue. I have not read it yet, but I did really enjoy it. It was a different take on, wasn't what I thought it was going to be. Well, no, it sort of was because I did read the solicits. But how Mighty Mouse comes into the real world. Very interesting.
On page 361, coming out
Yes.
from Legendary Comics, Pacific Rim Aftermath #1. Apparently this is going to be a 6-issue miniseries. It's sort of a bridge between... I guess there's going to be a new Pacific Rim sequel coming
Yeah,
out.
I saw that trailer in front of the Thor Ragnarok movie, so yeah.
Yeah, I missed all the good trailers, apparently. But I don't even remember which trailers I saw. But yeah, Pacific Rim Aftermath apparently takes place between the first and the second movies. So there's if you're hungry for some more kaiju versus Jaeger action.
Jaeger?
Yeah, that's what those giant robots are called, Jaegers.
Okay.
In Pacific Rim. It's the German word for hunter. I usually have more to buy from Oni than I do this month, but it's pretty much just Rick and Morty for me this time
Okay.
out. There's a trade of the Pocket Like You Stole It miniseries. That's on page 383. But yeah, they don't have an issue of Kaiju Max coming out. On page 385, there is a Wasteland Compendium. It's a series that I know almost nothing about, but close to 10 years ago, a lot of our listeners were pretty high on it.
Yeah, back in episode 223 in February of 2007, we did an off the rack on the first 6 issues of Wasteland, which obviously you were not a part of, because if you didn't...
I'm sure I've never read this. I'm sure I have not.
And we had Anthony Johnston on the show to talk about that as well.
Oh, well.
Interesting archives
so.
through the CGS archives.
That's why we keep them around.
Yes.
Yeah, it's kind of a post-apocalyptic narrative. That much I can tell just by looking at it. And that cover image, a listener of ours named Dave, who went by Drawza on the forums a long, long time ago. He used to use that as his avatar.
Oh. How do you know these things? How do you remember these things?
I don't try to.
Got a photographic memory.
Yeah, I should be that lucky. I really should. But the older I get, the more work I have to put into tamping information in place to make sure it stays with me.
Well, on page 420 is some offerings from Tomorrow's Publishing, including the latest issue of Alter Ego, number 151, which talks about some of the Golden and Silver Age superheroes of Dell and Gold Key, which I know very little about.
If it's a topic one of our listeners wanted us to try to do a spotlight about, but I had to politely decline because I knew, precisely because of what you just said, we don't know enough about that subject.
But it's still, the history, well, history is a great topic altogether, but history of comics? I mean, there's so many corners and things that I just have no idea. So I'm always trying to expand my horizons and learn things. And Tomorrow's a great place to find those things out. Yeah, really not too much else for me in the rest of the book as far as the comics go. And anything for you, Adam?
Yeah, I don't think so. One of these towards the back of the comic section publishers has a manga adaptation of Nightmare Before Christmas.
Oh, yeah?
They've offered it a few times. It might be Udon, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, here it is on page 418. Tokyo Pop. It's Tokyo Pop. Yeah, I think that they've offered this a few times, and I've toyed with the idea of buying it. This might be the year.
Okay.
Since I keep wanting to watch the movie again, and I keep putting it off. And then it gets into November, and things get busy for me, and I never find the time to watch it. And the ideal time really is early November, like when Halloween is not too far behind us. It's not Thanksgiving yet. It's certainly not Christmas yet. But somewhere in that limbo between the two holiday seasons is the best time to watch The Nightmare Before Christmas. And I never get around to watching it, so maybe, kidding myself here, maybe I'll get around to reading it if I buy a manga adaptation.
Yeah, okay. In the year 2020.
If man is still alive. Yeah, and I know for a fact that nothing caught my attention in the far back of the book.
Yeah, I mean, there's always some interesting toys and T-shirts and games, but it's like, I can't spend that kind of money back there. Comics is what my focus is. But anyway, so is there nothing else from that?
I would say not.
Okay, well then that's our previews, as we lost people along the way, but we're still here with you along.
Yep, this two-man crew saw it through to the end.
That's right. So once again, this is the previews for items starting to ship to stores mostly in January from the November 2017 catalog. And as always, this episode once again was brought to you by Discount Comic Book Service. Go to dcbservice.com for all your ordering needs. You ready there, sir?
You betcha.
All right. Well, you rock it then.
If you'd like to send us an email, you can send it to comicgeekspeak@gmail.com. If you'd rather leave a voicemail, you can call 267-702-6642. You can like us on Facebook. You can follow us on Twitter, where our handle is @comicgeekspeak. We always encourage folks to stop by thecomicforums.vanillaforums.com, which is our forum site, where you can leave some feedback about this and many other episodes of our podcast and engage in comics-related discussions with your fellow CGS fans. We give special thanks to everyone who has donated to the show in the past. We really appreciate it. The show would not be what it is today without you. And as always, we are uniting the world's mightiest heroes, one listener at a time.